You'd put too many S's in Crossfire. Too excited, Siru. Too excited. Alright, let's get this going. Top right side, our red Terran player in this best of 5 quarterfinal. It is going to be ByuN. What can he do against his opponent here on the bottom left-hand side? Our blue Zerg from Kaiser Gaming. This is Reynor. Do I have a cold? Yeah, I've had a bit of a cold, but I'm feeling a lot better. Today, I feel like I've not been coughing or anything as much on stream. I'm feeling way better. Unfortunately, Helen is now getting ill, so yeah, just having a great week, really. I do sound a lot better today. I actually feel a lot better talking today, to be honest. Didn't I play with Roddy in the past? Yeah, it's that one. Alright guys, best of 5, TvZ. I'm going to take a moment to just say that if you're watching this on YouTube, because let's face it, best of 5, Reynor ByuN, bound to be banging. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, A, I appreciate you watching on the YouTube channel, and B, don't forget you can subscribe and like the YouTube channel right now, as of today, December the something. Is actually doing, oh my god, yesterday's video went huge. Holy crap, why has yesterday's videos got so many views? Okay, well, I was going to say that the YouTube channel's been doing pretty well, and it's actually doing the best it's done in literally the entirety of the year, so yeah, show some love to the YouTube, like and subscribe if you're watching there. If you're watching on Twitch, you can go check out the YouTube if you want to. Exclamation mark YT in the chat, give us a sub. Otherwise, watch this roach attack from Reynor get established as we get this one up and running. So this hatchery about to be finishing, but the roach are already built and the first roach is in production, so Reynor getting very aggressive on his own map pick here pretty much immediately to start things off. The roaches start to move across to the other side, so quite a few of them making their way over. And we're just going to be seeing a little bit of an attack coming through. Now, ByuN went CC first double rack, so this is very possibly very bad for ByuN, where he just doesn't have a lot of units. He's going to have 3 Marines at a time here. This bunker needs to come online. It's good that's a little bit back, a little bit easier to get online for sure. So you're going to be seeing these few lings will press forward, and, well, bunker is there, and one ling gets taken down immediately. Going to put the roaches, the Ravager, onto the orbital here. It's just going to start picking through that. Another Ravager will start up. Look for some file on toward the bunker. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of Ravager bars coming in again. Hits a couple of SCVs off over on the side, so that's a nice pickoff. As you are going to be seeing the couple more Marines taking some extra shots here. Bile still coming up into the skies. This is nice though. I mean, 3 SCVs is good, and delaying the CC is obviously decent, but I don't mind this too much because ByuN does have a good counter-attack follow-up from this with the 2-1-1, so he will have a lot of Marines with Stim in Medivacs able to go. So yeah, I actually don't mind this too much for ByuN. He's been slowed down a bit, but he had a greedy opening. He was obviously pretty committed on the Reynor side of things as well, so I kind of like the way we get going on this one. It's just going to be seen. Our starport going up in the main base. The reactor coming down on the factory. And Bio going to move forward, and Stim not done yet. Maybe doesn't really want to Stim here anyways, because obviously Stimming does cost you HP, and there's not a lot of healing currently available. As ByuN really just wanted to get to a CC on the natural again ASAP, although I thought it would have been flying down already. As it is going to move on down there now. I apologize for that weird little squeak you probably just heard, guys. Gonna take a drink of tea, and I managed to hit the microphone. 200 IQ. Is this on the new patch? No, the new patch is only on the PTR. I'm not gonna suddenly make my players that have been playing this tournament for the last 3 weeks play on a new patch that they've not had a chance to test out or anything. Reynor just working through this lag. Hopefully shouldn't be long. We should be able to go. Will I be reviewing the patch notes and making a video? No, that's not my kind of thing to do. I will be running a tournament after Home Story Cup, so we'll be doing that, and there'll be videos of that, but I'm not going to go specifically make a video going over the patch notes. A lot of people that have a lot better ideas on patch notes than me will have already done that, honestly. What does ASD mean? It's just, I mean, where you put your hand on the keyboard, it's just 3 easy buttons to spam. And sometimes you write just to see if you're lagging as well, see if the message takes a second to pop up or something. 12 more Lings continuing through the carapace upgrade, producing as well. Couple Queens, Lings, carapace, all on the way out. Combat shield on the side of ByuN. And this army beginning to make its way out down to the bottom left. So away we go. As we have our lair coming up on the side of Reynor. A few more drones on the way in. A couple Lings coming out. So far so good as our Marines get rid of one extra Ling there for the moment. And just going to be seeing this Bioforce of ByuN continue to push across over to this left-hand side. Gonna grab an Ovi. And that's Reynor a little bit supply blocked, in fact. In a little bit of trouble here. One remaining Zerg in the tournament, of course. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Massive fan of ByuN. But I would love to see a little bit of a Zerg presence in our top 4. Otherwise, it might be very TvT heavy on Sunday's final day as well. Let's do have our Fatal Nest is just continuing up from Reynor at the moment, so that's just about halfway done. The +1 missile upgrade is following the carapace, so he is going to opt into more roaches for a while. Before kind of, transitioning more so through into the Lingbane portions of this. Lings Ravages down the bottom left, another Corrosive Bile, and a Marine split back. One of the Marines gets shot down immediately. Coming through, this Ravager gets picked off as well. It's just going to knock that down. A couple more of these Queens starting to get taken down also. And just going to be seeing our medevacs going in a couple of different directions. Well, not a bad little bit of harass to begin with from ByuN. He is going to get these medevacs toward the main. There's a spore that's not burrowed there, so you can still fly by. Always burrow your spore crawlers, guys. It's a good rule to follow. Save yourself from a Terran drop today. There's some damage on the hatch, on the Roach Roar, and I think importantly for ByuN here, you get a good scout. You know it's a real kind of continued investment in roaches because you see the Roach Roar upgrade and you see more roaches. So he's getting good information if absolutely nothing else, and the creep is already pretty limited from Reynor. I think ByuN's got to love the place he's in right now. Getting tanks up against roaches, upgrades are in a good place. Reynor is definitely behind from where he would like to be in a lot of ways as well. Very, very funky as our medevac escapes out through the bottom. We do come forward with the medevacs and Marines and a Marauder here at the front. Coming straight in. A couple of creep teamers already going down. A Corrosive Bile will go up and will land down, but the Bio has dodged away from it. Prawn Thunder, thank you so much for gifting us up to D64. D64. Thank you so much for the generosity as always. One Ling will fight this one Marine, and the Marine will win! Marine is super strong, who knew? And just going to be seeing our medevac loading up here, heading further down to the south side. There's a couple Lings coming back around, and the medevac now going to aim for the main. As that Bio continues forward, quite a lot of this creep spread continue to get picked away at here. So a lot of creep going down. Just going to see these few Zerglings getting nibbled out as well. This pressure being kept up. ByuN just doing his absolute best to just get that little bit of damage dealt. See an extra siege tank pulling it the way out. Our Bio will be getting healed up by said medevac. And this hatchery sort of sitting pretty for a few moments. The hive building on the main base. Getting that up and running here for now. And just going to be seeing a hive Magician on this side of Reynor. That's obviously very good tech to have for himself as well. It really does go a long way to helping out as our our Zerg Force comes back down to the center. WardiTV picked away at name a better duo. I've got one. WardiTV and we'll be seeing. That's a classic WardiTV phrase. We'll be seeing what happens next. Seeing what he wants to do. We'll be seeing how this fight goes. Now you guys have heard it, you'll hear it every time I say it. Here comes the push from ByuN. Tanks will get siege, and that's stacked up, man. That's not good for the corrosive vials. Triple kill. Boy, they put in some damage for the one shot they got off, but no need for them to be that stacked. Big mistake from ByuN. Then 3 tanks go down is absolutely just not what should be happening. The Baneling speed is so late as well, though, from Reynor, so slow Banes to push this back. I think there's a real opportunity for ByuN. If he had 2 tanks still left over at the end there, he gets so much more value out of this. As we have ByuN reinforcing. It has quite a big round of reinforcements just coming out of that natural. I was kind of surprised how much it was. Back to the left-hand side, Marines will go after the roaches. The single Baneling here should be targetable, especially without Baneling's speed. And the Marines will just stand and fight for a while. Roaches don't have +2 missiles, so they're not doing too much damage to the Marines, allowing them to trade well. And ByuN is pushing back down in the south, so in we go again. Again, so many Banelings going down without Baneling speed being ready, and this time ByuN really chews through that Baneling counter. And is Reynor going to be okay here holding? He loses a lot of lings. They kind of run in ahead of everything else. And so far, ByuN, I have to say, has had a pretty good fight. Kills this queen. There's just nothing that's scary here, right? I mean, the lings running in aren't doing a lot. Reynor's losing a ton of supply. Ultra's Cavern has just finished. Here come the Vipers to perhaps save the day. As we'll corrosive bar down this final Liberator. No, we did not get it. The Queens are trying to finish it off. The Marines top left want to deny the 5th hatchery. That's a great pickoff as well. He's going to turn around and get a few lings. Talk about finding as much value as possible. ByuN is always on the hunt to trade as well as he can. And he is building a 5th base behind it as well. So again, his own 5th established as ByuN now moves with another round of reinforcements across the map. The same directions we've seen before. The only thing I think we've got to be a little careful of is the fact that the Ultralisks are on their way. 5 of them in production. And they obviously will very likely do very well in these next few moments. Bio coming through, knocking down that Queen. Baneling going off. Just going to see these roaches taking further damage. Chorus of Biles landing behind the army. Couple of drones still going down. That hatchery is still taking damage. It's so low. It's going to be seen our lings are banned. Our roaches, our ravages coming through. Here come the Vipers. Massive blinding cloud. And oh, the abducts to get them away from the medevacs was actually really smart. Because ByuN flew the medevacs over there just to lift them up and evacuate them. And they would have been saved. By abducting them, he just pulls them away from the medevac lift-up range. And that is going to mean that he gets the kills guaranteed. So cute little play from Reynor. And yeah, that's something which I think a lot of people would have just not have done, right? I feel like those tanks get away 9 times out of 10, if not more often. But yeah, Reynor making sure that they do not. And ByuN having to go back home. And he is already onto the next stage of this game. Ghosts are producing. He's getting that ghost cloaking on the way up as well. So all of that's coming through. All of that will be very important here typically. As that Bio Force still just sits with the tanks, with the Bio. The Ultras, Lings, Ravages back around into the center, trying to see what else they can do. Over to the right-hand side, Ultra Bane trying to figure out what they can do as well. Bio Force comes in, a couple of these Queens will begin to drop, so we knock a couple of those down pretty much immediately, and our Zerglings will be taking some damage there also. Here comes this Bio Force as we have a couple of snipes setting up, tanks getting hit big in this blinding cloud. Reynor on the counter. Oh, he's going to find so many SCVs here. ByuN is hiding behind his mineral line. SCVs, hold your own as the Blandary Fortress will have no healing, no repairing. 27 workers down and ByuN dying to this counterattack. He should get a few units on the tail end of this. I mean, a few Ultras that might still be cleaned out, but The ones in the natural are still dealing damage. He didn't have any more snipes over here. He's left a ghost behind as well, and oh no, ghosts keep on dying. There's snipes being cancelled. The ultra's on a rampage up in toward the main. Reynor is going to get it done. Here in game number 1, it was looking very, very bad for him. I mean, ByuN was having a great game, but these are some of the best ultra-risks we've seen in a long time. 63 dead SCVs. Hello? What's that? Sorry, you wanted to keep some economy alive? Not allowed! Reynor, 1-0 over ByuN in this best of 5. Top right-hand side, we do have our red Terran player. This is ByuN. 30 seconds in a 30-minute game, that's unacceptable. I know it's not bad, I really don't like having ads during the game. That's the one thing I've always tried to be very good about. And nowadays, yes, they overlap like the first minute or so. But, you know, sometimes, but I obviously don't want to, I really would like to keep them outside of any part of the game that's past the 2-minute marker. It's generally my current rule of thumb. I mean, we could do a much better job of keeping them out of the start of the games as well, because they could just make the game start more slowly, but then, you know, everything just gets drawn out, you know? So, it's a little compromise. Ads run over the start, not much happens in the start. Everyone should be okay with that, you know? But yeah. Just annoying, because I could have run the right amount of ads, I just messed up. I just messed up. Hatch, gas, and a Poolerenio dropping on down in the world of Reynor over here. So just getting that pool up and running in the early few moments. That's set to go. Crumbles across, just gonna go jump into that extractor, make it a couple of drones, and hey, why the hell not try and make it 3 as our third drone pops. And hey, look, it goes in the extractor as well. Wow. Zugs are so predictable. Imagine that, trying to mine gas in the early game. Who would have thought? That's why Zug should be a bit more flexible in their build orders, right, guys? If the Zug players are just more flexible in their builds, there'll be no issue. We're coming over to the left-hand side, and we're just going to be having our Queen already producing, a Marine out into the natural. And these feelings coming through to fight against this Reaper. We're taking a couple of shots. And a couple of drones, a couple of Queens in production at the moment. The drone does get to become a Spore Crawler here. And just going to be seeing the Marine coming over to the right-hand side, going to go after the Ovi. And is going to be able to take that one down. You may have an offer to discuss with me for 2023. Know where to message me, mate. I assume. You have me on Discord, right? Surely you have me on Discord. We've talked before. Reaper is going to come through. He's going to take down a Creep Tumor, and a couple of Queens going to knock that Reaper away down the left. And I'm just going to be seeing our Reaper escaping back out into the center. Zergling speed is coming up. A couple of Hellions are producing on the side of ByuN. I'm just going to be seeing our starport about to complete from ByuN as well. So just getting that all wrapped up here. Our orbital command will land into the third location as well. So on 3 bases nice and early. The power of Stargazers. And yeah, ByuN's just going to be... Well, that was the natural. The third base is still building on the non-in-base natural. I mean, whatever. We're going to 3 bases. That's the point. We can all see that. As we do have our Queens just sitting on the front. A couple of Hellions, the Viking, beginning to produce on the side of ByuN. As we do have our Zergling speed about to finish. And Stimpack already started. ByuN again just very eager to get into just a big ol' bio-based macro game. He's going to go via the medevac though, so a little bit of a drop potential early. Some Hellions, I imagine. There's not really many Marines to put into a medevac right now, so... Little Hellion drop into just big eco-bio play. I mean, if you get a few drones with this, you can get a lot done. You've got the entire in-base expander drop into that Reynor will not see easily. And obviously you've got the top of the map covered because you own the watchtower, so you can take a pretty direct dropping route if you want to. Opportunity is definitely here to do some damage. There's Viking up the top, making its way all the way northward bound. Aliens turn away from the front. The creep spread will be denied a little bit, and our Viking begin to work onto this Overlord as well. Overlord is gonna go down. Reynor ends up supply blocked. I'm just gonna be seeing the medevac is snuck all the way around to the back of the main, so this unload gonna happen in a second. Here we go, 4 Hellions. Reynor doesn't see it in time to put down a Evo chamber or anything, and now we come through, gonna find 3 drones, gonna find 4 drones. Doing a very good job of this as we get rid of a 5th drone as well, so a good job all together. Fantastic job here as our Lings will look for and will grab that final Hellion too. It's just gonna knock that down. Like I say, across the board, pretty decent job of things. Last Impact's about to finish up on the side of ByuN. I'm just going to be seeing now a couple extra racks continuing to finish up as well. 1-1 upgrades, combat shield will continue to start for the moment. Well, I mean, the good news for Reynor is he did kill the medevac and Hellion, so at least they're not still around. That kind of makes it, I mean, kind of an expensive trade, really, for ByuN. Yeah, a few drones is nice, lost mine time is nice, but yeah, for losing the units you invested into that, it was, obviously, it wasn't perfect, right? So, one thing to absolutely keep in mind. Had Matter 217, thank you so much for the Prime sub, really appreciate it. Thank you very, very, very much. Hellions, Marines, going to begin to move across from one side to the other. Marines come by, going to grab a Zerglings, just going to knock that down nice and quickly. Let me just get out to the front, going to start working through our creep teamers here. Get the Viking in the back, our medevac still in the front here, Marines on the creep spread at the moment, just going to get a little scan going down. Picking off as much of this creep as we can, the few queens coming through. Our medevacs are here, the Marines are there, queens get pushed back. Oh, nice catch, as Reynor is going to get a few of these units. He has again a surround. Spire's on the way up, so Reynor's going to play into the mutas. The thing about Stargaze is it's very hard to win in this map, because the Terran can really sit back, turtle up as much as they need, and defend very easily across 4 bases, and 5 if they need to get to 5. So the mutas really open up new avenues of attack that you might not usually have available to you. And as these Widow Mines get burrowed, yeah, ByuN is fighting. I like the fact that Reynor's going to be able to bring some harassment in other ways, though. I definitely think that that could be very effective here. As we see a Widow Mine going off, a couple of the Queens getting picked away at. The Marines still moving through, and just going to be seeing that one Baneling trying to come through. That was a Widow Mine on the south side that gets rid of a bunch of Lings as well. It's going to be seeing now more Marines and Mines making their way over to the right. 2-2 upgrades on the way up on the side of ByuN. And 9 more Mutalisks still producing. 11 more Mutalisks still producing from Reynor. Scan straight across into the natural. Marines, Mines, Medevacs continuing to join together. Big push through the top side. Again, that's another annoying part of this map. You can't really flank this Terran push very easily because it comes from a very, you know, there's only one avenue up there. There's no flanking potential. You have to go all the way around the other side. You basically have to run through the Terran base to create a flank on this, as Reynor will have enough to force ByuN to leave. But I mean, these are still trades that ByuN's okay with. Probably be likely to be going a bit better. His resources lost is even. You'd usually like that to be ahead. These Lings, though. I mean, the best part of this for Reynor was the fact he got some Widow Mines that just kind of wandered forward a little bit haphazardly. You got a first couple, and you got 2 more that did it a second time, and if it wasn't for that, I feel like Reynor would have really, really had a bad time there. That would have been horrible. Yes, EVs. I've taken some losses. And it's going to be seeing ByuN. Actually, still catching up on +2 armor, by the way, so still missing out on that. Waiting for that to be brought back online as well. More mules landing down, and Mutalists will continue to push to the upper right. Finding themselves a group of Marines almost immediately. Mutalists sitting around, 1 Marine goes down. 4 on the way, more Marines, 3, 2, all reducing. Reynor was maxed. But he can't really do anything, like I say. I mean, if ByuN just defends, this is a map where there's not really much to do as the Zerg player, so then you've got to tech up, and that's what I don't like about the Mutas. I understand the Mutas maybe open more pathways, but if they've not opened pathways to deal more damage, then are we not just in a situation here where ByuN, you know, has basically got Reynor on a very delayed set of tech? Yeah, it definitely becomes a little bit weird and awkward at that point, right? As here we go, Reynor's going to start running forward. A couple of Widow Mines going off initially. Move this bio back around the right-hand side. Up in the top, we do have these 2 medevacs going to lift off and make their way through the northern side of the map across to the far left. See what they can do as our bio force continues forward. Creep spread continue to be knocked down. Big drop in the base. It's obviously a pretty big deal, as you do see these Mutas going to try and dive a Thor. There's some repair there, not enough. It buys you some time at least to get Marines across. So time being bought is one of the main things, as ByuN is in that in-base, and he has killed off the hatchery. So a win for him. Reynor has every other map on the base on the map, though, so it's a small thing in the grand scheme of things. Reynor shouldn't be too worried about it. Now these Mutas really are starting to get some work done. Opening up some pathways for, well, a lot of Banelings over here, for example. SCV is going to have to start running. They're going to run through Baneling fire in a second, though. The Widow Mines there can blow up. Wow, I actually think he should have blown up the mines. He would have got so many SCVs at the same time. Maybe a slightly missed opportunity as Reynor just crashes in, and this army of ByuN is on its way to being completely dismantled. Things come across, a lot more SCVs continue to go down. "40 SCVs killed in total." I mean, that is just brutal. As Adrenal Gland still coming up, our Ultraless Cavern setting up. These few Banelings will be knocked down as well. And ByuN is going to start moving through the middle of the map once again. Bio through the center, bio through the top. Resources lost. Slightly favorable to ByuN, but Reynor is just mining so much at the moment, so that's definitely going to be a big part of the consideration here. That Reynor just has so much mining available to him. His rebuilds are going to be instantaneous, and ByuN, he's going to need better fights than what he's been taking. Not that the fights he's been taking are bad. He just needs to start having incredible fights. As Reynor running into this one. I mean, the one benefit ByuN has is that Reynor's army supply is a little bit smaller because he's got so many workers. The Widow Mine is just on strike in here. All these fresh mules are gone, so are 12 more SCVs. ByuN's economy falls deeper and deeper into a hole. It's going to be tough to get out of. There's a few Banes here, at least grab a couple of SCVs, a few Lings going down. And as we stim forward with this little medevac of units, at least that is something which will be beneficial. Our medevac loads up those Marines. The Ultras on the way. Adrenal Glands, Chitinous, and +3/+3 all continue to produce. These meters are kind of done with for now, as ByuN's army supply is still good. He doesn't have any way to really deal with Ultras, bar the fact that he's already got Marauders on the field. They're not exactly the kind of Ultras nowadays, right? You usually talk about Ghosts. Marauders definitely help. They make them fight engageable. They make it something you can fight. But Ghosts are the real answer, and we're not even on a Ghost Academy just yet, so that part of this is definitely going to maintain, you know, maintain itself being a problem, basically. Marines do get through those few Lings, and these few Lings and the Ultra coming over here. The Ultra can't get to the Marines! If only it was a Tudley Ultra, like it will be in the patch. Maybe then it could have fit behind the mineral line. These Ultras are going to be whipped into shape over the holiday period. I'm going to eat all the chocolate and all the good food and everything. And these Ultras, they are going to be worked to the bone. Mine goes off. Overseer gets struck. We do see our Marines having to kite back a little bit. These Banes continue to go down. A lot of SCVs being killed. Ultralisk is going to get dropped here. These Lings, these Banes continue to come on through. A lot of Ultras looking after this Bio Force, and the Ultras continue to chase. This is going to be massive victory here from Reynor. As obviously a great map to win. Stargazers puts him into a commanding position in this series. ByuN is in some trouble. Is Reynor looking to make it our third 3-0 of the day? If he can win this one out, we'll be finding out about that very soon. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. That's incredible. Like I say, we've not been there for a long time. It's amazing that we even have the chance to maybe go there. So, thank you so much for all the support. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much indeed. I really do appreciate it, guys. We get into the bottom left-hand side. Our blue Zerg player and Kaiser up 2-0. It's Reynor. Top right, our red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN here on TvZ. Can he make a comeback in this best of 5? Reynor looking to be a Zerg representative into our semifinals. Yo, here's the good news. If Reynor wins, we will have a non-mirror matchup grand final. So that is the good news. That would be awesome, obviously. Oh, yeah. Today's been a fast day, guys. Obviously, those two best of 5s in the middle being a bit short. Definitely gonna reduce our length of the stream today a little bit. That's okay. We'll be alright as our STV heads down to the bottom left-hand side. Second rack's coming up from ByuN. He's back to the CC first 2 racks opening, same as what we saw in game number 1. But interrupted and disrupted slightly on that one due to the due to how his opponent was going. But we'll see what happens here. Just turn around and see how things will go. The shot goes off. Rotor and Ellie from Reynor wants to punish a little bit this greed of ByuN. Lings is gathering up to the upper right side. Stimpak going through, a few Marines on the way out. Roaches and a couple of Lings continuing through, and our Marines of ByuN will be there to push those Lings back. A hatchery setting up over on the left. Again, just going to see a Ravager morphing in on the side of Reynor here. Just bringing that Ravager up and ready. And this attack getting set to rumble, guys. It's obviously a bit more committed than what we saw earlier. This really is a Roach Ling all in, with the Lings accompanying this rather than just a few Roaches hitting. It was very early last time, but it didn't have the Lings behind it, right? So, definitely made a little bit of a difference as Ling Roach Ravager continues through to the upper right side. Making a bit of a go of it right now. ByuN has Marines, that's the problem. Marines alone are not usually great in these scenarios. He has to kind of keep his Marines safe on that ramp. He cannot let the Lings get a wrap around on the Marines, because then that's a very quick way to lose this game. As Reynor will just sit here, kill a depot, and that's a supply block ByuN if this depot goes down. A badly supply block ByuN as well. He stops 3 depots in the main base. I think he was going to be supply blocked anyway, so he's actually in a lot of trouble. Can't do anything with the factory on the starport until he loses units. Even after losing 7 workers, this is not exactly looking ideal. We do see the Overlord going down. The Marines get rid of that one. And the SCVs continue to sit here too. Couple of roaches continue to take some damage. The Lings are going to start pouring in. Lings coming through. SCVs being picked off. And it looks as though Reynor is in pretty good shape here, guys. Those biles do miss, at least, which is something. He actually has another bile that doesn't quite connect. ByuN's going to clean up. Obviously, Stim very powerful in this situation, but what about the position we're left in? Okay, no third base from Reynor, right, is one thing to kind of consider. That definitely helps, but ByuN lost all of his units that were going to be somewhat useful aggressively. He's still taking SCV losses, so he's down to 14 versus 20 workers here. I mean, it's just not a great situation. Don't really care how you want to phrase it. It really just is not. There's the Ravager up through the natural, and it's going to see a little Widow Miner 2 going off, setting these off with the Lings, allowing more Lings to stream through, so Reynor still being aggro. He built up a few drones, and he's building more drones now, but this has allowed him to get rid of a few more. Well, he got rid of a Widow Mine at least. The other Widow Mine in the back, if he'd seen that, he probably would have been still dealing even further damage, but as much as I hate to say it, kind of feels like this series is coming to a little bit of an early close, guys. Is this just how the day is? 3-0, 3-0, 3-0? Seems like it, huh? ByuN's in trouble. I mean, the problem is the stem, which is one of the cool things he got out of this, isn't good because he doesn't have any units to use stim with right now. Doesn't have any medevacs to heal it either because he's just being slowed down so much. Orbital. I was going to move down to the natural. How did ByuN get matched with Reynor? Reynor finished second place in his group. ByuN finished first. And it was a randomized bracket. The only rule in the bracket is you can't play the player from your group again until the finals, so once you randomized the first 4 names, it was possible for Reynor to have to play Max, Pax, or ByuN, and he drew into ByuN. Doesn't ByuN just kill him now? Maybe it does. I actually thought Reynor would have enough units to kind of suspend a counterattack, but maybe I'm just completely wrong. Am I actually completely wrong? I think I might be. I didn't think ByuN would have enough units to do this with. Or I thought by the time ByuN got here with units to do this with, Reynor would have plenty to defend it. I mean, maybe if Reynor had cut drones a little sooner, right? I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to be on 44 workers while ByuN hadn't passed the 30 marker. So in that regard, maybe, I guess I sort of stand by my logic, but yeah, ByuN does hit, and Reynor was on 45 drones, so in this case, Reynor takes quite a bit of damage, loses a, well, he's going to lose an Overlord, he lost a hatchery now, and it looks as though this series will go on. Great call, Wardy. 10 out of 10. Incredible. We got the hatchery down on the 3rd base. It's just going to be seen as CC getting set up. A couple of engineering bases still coming through. A couple of refineries also on the way out. Here comes this Bioforce. Pushing forward. Hatchery gets cancelled. Two, 3 drones going down already. Just going to be seeing the Liberator in the back. We'll get rid of another drone or so. Well, ByuN's definitely taking some big steps back in this game, guys. I will apologize. I got very ahead of myself. I was being a Debbie Downer that my tournament was over for the day, but I was wrong. I just didn't think he was going to have enough to make this a meaningful counterattack so soon, but the power of barracks and bio in general, huh? The power of bio. Just going to see a hatch finishing up in a few moments. It's just going to be seeing that Bioforce of ByuN settling down on the bottom side. A couple of biles coming through. Just going to be seeing ByuN making his way back up into the center here. So going to go across, going to grab 1. Ravager going to look for 2. We lift up into the medevacs. The Marines escaping away for a few moments. And set up down on that bottom side. A little bit more Roach Ravagers joining up together. It's going to be seeing the 1-1 upgrade still coming through here. And a couple of additional reactors from ByuN in production as well. Siege tank on the way out. I'm just going to be seeing Alpha Marines chasing down an Overseer up to the top. It's going to be having Reynor pull back towards the natural as well. Bit of bio out on the south side. And just going to be bringing this back to the center. Well, Reynor has the carapace upgrade up. This game is not decided in ByuN's favor. Obviously, it was very bad for Reynor the last couple of minutes, but I guess the good news was he had a good drone count during this, right? So he has had some good mining. He's recovering from that a little bit. Dropping into the main. That's going to be one of Reynor's main issues. Dealing with drops when you're playing a Roach-based style. Fire comes in. The Queen taking some damage. Just going to see how Roaches get there. Medivacs will be pushed away. With the +2 carapace. About halfway done. So +2 carapace halfway along. +2 missiles building. Going to stick with these Roaches. Let's see what he does with them. He is down a few workers. Definitely feels like ByuN's advantage, but if Reynor's alive in the game, then I will obviously maintain some hope that Reynor is going to be able to pull it out, because that's just kind of the player that Reynor is, right? He can absolutely just crank out victories when you would otherwise count out most of the players, so that is the real power of Reynor a lot of the time. The Medivacs about to pop. Why didn't Reynor just kill him earlier when it was 22 workers to 14? You kind of can't, because you can't win with just flooding lings across the map when he has stim, because he can just wall. And he can't build roaches because they take too long to really take advantage of the lead. So you try to kill him by just getting further ahead on the economy, by just droning heavily, which I think is the right course, the best way to punish a Terran in that location. If you make units to try and kill him, I actually think ByuN probably holds it off without too much issue. So the idea is you make a bunch of drones, and then you make army, but ByuN was able to find the counterattack while Reynor was still in that droning stage. Just a couple throws of vials, not really going to hit much at all. 10 more roaches on the way out from Reynor. I mean, he's more or less maxed. He is keeping a lot of supply of ByuN in those medevacs, scared away into the corner. If they can't ever get here, then maybe that will be enough to help. Vials go down, a little bit of bio has to back it up. USCV is just going to get to the top side as we do start to push on forward. A couple of vials go onto the siege tank. It's not enough to get a kill though, and that feels like you need to be getting kills with these Ravagers right now. You need to start cutting down this tank count, otherwise you're going to be having some trouble. Another bile or two coming down. Thanks firing. A lot of roaches just died there. I mean, that's the problem. Having to run into this tank range every time, you're just going to take an absolute beating. Well, Reynor is starting to press forward, and if you can get rid of the bio, the tanks are obviously pretty susceptible to kind of being overrun as well. And, you know, 20, 30 lings right now to just swarm through and get on top of the tanks would be incredible. I know they've not got any melee upgrades or anything, but it would have been great as the bio count gets very low. Reynor's been doing a good job of kind of keeping up with roach production, but it is just that. It's just roach production. He's halted on other tech. He's not teching up into anything else. He's not moving into hives. He's not upgrading into 3-3 where ByuN is able to stop that. Here we go. A bit of a spread from the top side. Can we get far enough forward? These two tanks get biled down. That's a beautiful engagement from Reynor. It's one of the sort of fight that he needs if he wants to have a chance here. And he will clean this up. Now, ByuN has dropped into the main. That bottom left drop has finally come through here. And he is going to find himself a bunch of drones on the back end of it. So he does find value with this drop in the end. Reynor starts up the Hydralist Den, as I guess we're going to end up playing Roach Hydra into Lurkers. Medevac still escaping up the left side. 12 drones going down, a few biles on the wall off, a couple of depots taking some hits, 3-3 missile upgrades continue to produce for the moment. As ByuN scans out, sees the Reynor Roach army advancing. And maybe time for ByuN to just play defensive. But this Viper's on the way. Maybe Reynor doesn't even need to go too aggressively right now. I mean, once it gets Vipers, engaging into these tank lines is obviously going to be miles easier. So, yeah, don't go too soon, right? Don't overcommit in just yet. Just be a little bit cautious about it as a few Ravager bars continue through. ByuN taking some extra shots. We will turn around with the Roach Ravager here, pushing the ByuN back once again. Just going to be seeing these few tanks also coming through. Couple biles on the ramp. Just going to keep back everything for the moment. The Roaches come by. ByuN going to get pushed back and just going to see another siege tank getting sieged as well. Our Roaches, our Ravagers trying to push through. More tank fire, and those Roaches keep on getting struck down. Here come the Vipers that would maybe like to make a little bit of a difference right now. ByuN's push just continuing. Reynor's supply starting to dip low. Reinforced with Roaches this entire time while trying to attack a little bit further. It's finally kind of showing its cost. The Vipers need energy. They need a lot. As ByuN presses forward. These Vipers, he's going to get intercepted. He doesn't even... Oh, he does get the blind cloud. It didn't die. But only one cloud, only on one tank. It's good enough for ByuN to take this game. And this game, this series, this match will continue. I will eat my words. I really thought ByuN was dead. And I really did not respect the power of the Terran counterattack. In the bottom left-hand side, we do have our blue Zerg player from TvZ Gaming. Still has match point in his pocket. Let's see if he can take the series and advance to the semi-finals. It is Reynor. Top right, it is going to be our red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Yeah, just kind of, like I say, a little bit taken aback by the return fire in that game. ByuN opens with a low ground barracks this time as Reynor opens pool first. It's going to be one rack, so we're going to play more. What is the plan, ByuN? Usually when you do this, you'll build multiple racks and multiple racks Reaper. Reynor with the early Lings, I mean, that's a low ground barracks. It's not going to be walled. These Lings could be chaotic. They could do a lot here. Down from Reynor, and like, seriously, is this Reynor just being very aware of something that ByuN likes to do? Because if so, it's a pretty perfect read, it's a pretty perfect play for the situation. Our Lings will make their way out across to the upper right hand side. One Reaper coming up, Command Center going down. There is gonna be a Reaper. He's going to let it come across the map. That's very smart from Reynor. Especially because he can get into the base here, right? He's going to let it come across the map, and now... Oh no, the wall off goes down. We could cancel the reactor, though, to get rid of the wall. Or you can just go for the factory. I mean, these are things you don't usually have to deal with, as the other Lings now will move forward. The Reaper's obviously turned around. 2 Lings on that reactor, 4 Lings on the factory. Drop a grenade one side, looking for the kill on the other. The other Lings are going to arrive soon. Can we actually still get rid of the reactor here? Can we even finish up the factory? That's actually a great question. I love the 2 Lings back onto the reactor. I love the control we're seeing. The factory will not go down. The reactor will. I don't think it gets repaired in time. Oh, it just dies in the last second. And supply blocked ByuN as his CC's not finished up yet. Oh, jeez. That's not pretty. As he loses a couple of SCVs, he'll be able to build more, but no additional depot. He didn't build his second depot. Oh, no! The second depot's kind of important as 5, 6 SCVs go down. What a disaster of a start as... Oh my goodness, the Reaper died as well. I didn't even see the Reaper going down, but the Reaper died in amongst this. God, that's really bad, obviously, as Marine dies, SCVs keep dying. 8 workers killed. What an incredible start from Reynor. Damn. That is, I'd love to hear what Reynor has to say about the choice here, and whether this is just designed around something that that ByuN likes to do, and it hence counters it and so on. I can really imagine that because it's not something I feel like would work a lot of the time. No SCV scout obviously, and yeah, Reynor punishing ByuN early and looking to retake control of this series as he loses one map, but now fully back on track with the start here. And this isn't a start that ByuN has an amazing counter-attack against or whatever, right? This really is a start that just puts ByuN into a pit and is going to make it very difficult for him to grab himself out or drag himself out of this pit that he's in. Depot to the side, a couple of drones going down across the map, so there is the counter-attack potential on the Hellions. You would have thought the Queens usually would not let these in and let them do too much. Let's see how much we find. 3 workers. The only thing I will say is that even if you get like 4 or 5 workers here, I'm not sure how much you love it as ByuN, because maybe it's damage you need to do. You're still heavily behind on drones, and now you lose a lot of your map control. Because now all of a sudden there's no Hellions on the map, so you have no way to stop A, Lings counterattacking, B, just drones en masse, and C, a ton of creep spread. Like, all of your pressure is just gone. So it's a... Yeah, don't get me wrong, you don't like losing 4 drones as Reynor, but 4 drones to remove all of that from the equation? Actually, suddenly maybe sign me up to that deal. That actually sounds a lot better than it initially seems, right? Pretty crazy. And we see now a couple of racks coming through. One more upgrade. Stimpack continue to produce. Flare on the way up. Baneland that's starting. A few more drones in production and a couple of queens coming through as well. So getting this all underway. Reynor with 20 worker lead, and ByuN, I think, I mean, what's he really to do, right? I mean, his aggression is going to get swatted away because Reynor's going to be so well prepared. So yeah, I guess you kind of macro and you do some light harass, hope Reynor messes up in that defense and hopefully opens up a bit of a opportunity here or there. The Believer Chambers finish Carapace, and I assume melee upgrade to start shortly. Some Lings on the way out. Reynor prepping to make sure he's going to be okay. Hit 65 drones. He can take a break from droning as you're on that 3-base saturation. Then as the 4th finishes, we begin to saturate that. That's the typical routing here for a Zerg player at this point in the game, and that's exactly what we'll be seeing him do. He starts that melee upgrade as well. And ByuN is going to have the 1-1 upgrade advantage, so that's one thing that ByuN can use to his favor here. Maybe find some efficient trades off the back of that. Like I said, it's kind of the thing you need to have happening right now. So our Marines continue out to the center. We do have our Banelings continue to finish up. A few more drones popping. And just going to be seeing a few more Banelings morphing in. On the other side of the map here, all of these Lings from Reynor are readying an attack to the top of the map. And that ready to go fairly soon. Marines, tank, getting going, just going to be seeing ByuN trying to defend, has to stim again. No medevac over here, so these Marines look low. The Lings are like, oh yeah, let's take advantage of that, but they do not have the upgrades, the Lings, so this might be a little greedy. Hold positions. There's a wall off over there already, and the Lings are trying to work on that. I feel like this is Reynor kind of gifting some Lings to ByuN. This was not really very advantageous for him. A lot of Lings going down for not really much gained. And again, Reynor's taking a 5th base. Creep is everywhere here on inside and out, and I still kind of ask myself what ByuN's overall plan is. He's going to 8 racks. Well, Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Just a ton of units all at once. Try and get some good momentum behind you and just win this game with one massive army. I like it a lot more than trying to play the long macro game where Reynor is in full control from the very get-go. You're obviously just in a very difficult position, trying to drag you out of a, drag you out of as much of a tough spot as possible, but there's no good news here from ByuN. The opening was rough. Let's see what he can do. He's going to start carving some of the creep away on the edges. Just skim that down that little bit. Helps massively. Marines will come pushing forward. Lings gonna wrap around some of the Marines over here as well. Reynolds 2-2 starts. Infestation Pit comes in as we start to tech up. Creep will continue to go down. There's a lot of creep that's being picked off. Lingbane still back around into the center here. Maulings on the way out. 2-2 upgrade still building through. And here comes the Lingbane to jump on top of a few more of these Marines. The tanks will go after a lot of that Lingbane initially. First few shots are very good. Reynor on his way to Hive. We know what'll be good on Hive. Vipers, Adrenal Glands, ability to build 3-3. Probably build Ultras in this game as well, because it's just that kind of stepping stone effect of that is the next best thing to go to. Things crash in, and a few Marines have to lift up. Once again, we're backing away, we're hiding away, trying to stay as best out of trouble as we can. May as well just bust through these depots, and then I suppose wonder how far this counterattack will go. We're just going to commit. Bane's already going in the mineral line. A few of these Banes are going to find the Marines in the choke point. Oh my god! And a few Marines on the other side get in trouble. 13 SCVs went down. It felt like a lot of Marines died, honestly. That felt like a huge wraparound, a huge hit. Now we're going to see more Banes from the other side again. The Sim City's kind of working against ByuN. He doesn't have enough space to kite in or to move in or anything, so yeah, really having some struggles. He just doesn't have enough. Again, this is a game which is difficult to cast because we all know that basically from the very start, ByuN is massively behind. And that guy is going to be GG's. Reynor takes it